Number 8, Temple of Elemental Evil in the Shrink. Number 7, a white box. Number 6, a slightly nicer white box.
Yep.
Hold on.
Come take care.
Number 5,
Old
Deities, Demigods, Squids, no thanks, gorgeous. A GorganStar Titan, play, punch, both supplements.
Don't touch it.
Do not touch the Titan. No touching.
Don't get it wet or the ink will run.
Next.
Yep.
R4, Doc's Island. On my side, a wood grain, 2nd printing. And last, our last item tonight will be Bill's Crystal Cast Dice. Have a look, we're on a break. We'll come back and we'll close out collectibles.
Sticking around for this? Yeah, you got like 6. Sorry? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5, I've got 5.
Now, are we ready? All right, can I have a little quiet? Let's do this. Number 10 of our top 10 this year. I have a beautiful 4th printing Holmes box set. According to the excruciating Meinhardt standard, the box is Fine Plus. That's an excellent grade. Rule book, Fine Plus. A little bit of tanning and staple rust, which is typical. The module is very fine, with a small stain but no rust. And the dice are unused in the original bag, which is slightly torn. It is a 4th printing Holmes box set. We started $50. This is the set I started with. This is the set a lot of us started with. Do I have $50 for the Holmes 4th printing box set? I have $50. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. I've got 120. 120, first one has it. I have 120, 140. Are you in or out, Andy? Bill Meinhardt swoops for a $140, 75.45. Well done, Bill. Swoop, swoop.
Number 9 in the collectibles, final collectibles part of the auction is the Forgotten Realms campaign setting. This is from Harold Johnson's collection. It's in the original shrink wrap. There is, as several of you noted when you came up and examined it closely, a very, very slight box dishing on the front here. Almost hardly noticeable. The box is rated near mint minus. It's a beautiful, the shrink wrap is beautiful. Let's start with just $20 for this really, really amazing Forgotten Realms campaign set. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. We have 150 here on the aisle. Lingering a second. 3839 for $150. Thanks for the bid.
Number 8, the collection of Harold Johnson. A copy of the Temple of Elemental Evil, Adventure T1 through 4, in the original shrink. Bill Meinhardt likes to say, and I wholeheartedly agree, that shrink is not a condition. It is not the condition of the product, which is why when I say this, I can tell you truly, this is a near perfect copy of T1 through 4. This is collector grade as fine as it gets. Let's start at $30. I have 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, 280, 290, 300, 320, 320, 340, 360, 380, 400, I have two bidders at $400. $425, $450, $475, $500. I have one drop. $500 once. New bidder. $525, $550, $575, $600. $625, $625 once. $625 twice. Ladies and gentlemen, $38.39. Well played.
Next up is the Dungeons & Dragons White Box. This is a 5th printing, and let me give you the general information on the condition here. The box is poor plus, all corners repaired or blown. The books are fair plus to good minus, a lot of staple rust, some staining, no writing other than some initials for ownership. Pages are intact. Reference sheets, very good. Once again, they're complete, but they have also been put the owner's initials on. So, a fair copy of the White Box 5th edition. Let's start this at $50. $50 for a White Box as described. 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, $90. I have $90 up front here, 100. 100. You were both up at 100 and then you dropped. One of you, 100, come on. We want a C note, thank you. 8392 for 100, thank you.
We had some items that were probably going to be in the last 10. We moved around a couple just based on requests, based on interest. The other thing that makes up the top 10 are things that we know people are interested to see. A lot of us have a lot of memories tied up with a Holmes box set. A lot of us have a lot of memories tied up with a White Box set. And some of us, not me, have some memories tied up in a wood grain. We'll get there. Next, I have a copy of the 6th edition, or 6th printing of the White Box. Carolyn? This is a very, very nice copy of the 6th printing. But what makes this particularly interesting is it's absolutely loaded with all the books. You have an Eldritch Wizardry 6th edition in very good plus condition. You have a Blackmore 7th edition in very fine condition. You have a Greyhawk 10th edition, very fine. The reference sheets for the White Box are near mint. There's a copy of Gods, Demigods, and Heroes 6th edition, very good. The box is good plus. There are no blown corners on the top or bottom box. The 3 books that make up the regular box set are very fine, with just a slight bit of light staple rust. The book's a little rough with some pencil markings, but all the books are in great shape, with no markings or torn pages. Overall, a nice looking classic set of the White Box. We'll start at $50. I have 50. 75. I have 200. 225. 250. I have 300. The reserve is off. 325. 350. 375. $400. Clear the field. 425. He's out. 425 once. 425 twice. Andy, well played. 81-7.
Next up is the Deities and Demigods, the 1st print. There's Cthulhu and can verify Cthulhu and Elric, no thanks. This copy is in very good plus condition. There's damage on these lower corners and on the upper corners. A little bit of a cover wear on the back, like something was laying on it. Otherwise, though, it's clean, it's crisp, and it's got all that you need inside. Let's start this at just $3. $3. Okay, nobody's gonna bid. All right. Let's start it at 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, only $90. It's got everything in there, Cthulhu. No thanks. Elric, $100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, $180 on the aisle. Any advance on 180? 3839 for $180. Nice add to your collection.
All right. One of the best things about being an auctioneer is that you really realize very quickly how little you know. And I just had some great advice. Why don't you come up here and tell them what we ought to know about this copy of Titan. And let me explain that the person who dropped this off didn't know what they had. They literally just put down a gigantic box of products and had hopes of covering the $2 deposit. So all of this is inclusive in this bid. Why don't you tell them what we've got?
So some people may be familiar with, obviously, Titan that was put out by Avalon Hill, many years ago, probably about 25 years ago. But the precursor to that, for the game Titan, or they called it Monster Slugathon, the non-pink box, was called GorganStar, and that's what you actually see here. Now, GorganStar in its infancy did not have all of the particular creatures or lands that you would go ahead and conduct your battling on. So they had the battle lands that was included as an additional small little add-on for all intents and purposes. In addition to that, Jason McAllister, there was actually two publishers of the actual game, but Jason was the one who carried it most forward. So Valley Games actually did another printing of it where the counters were much bigger and thicker, and not everybody liked it as much. But anyways, nevertheless, I actually happen to have quite a bit of number of these particular items, so I kind of consider myself an expert at it. But with that being said, there is 2 of the 3 self-published titles that he came up with. And what's really nice about that is right after the Valley Games edition, he actually kind of attended some of the particular conventions as part of a cameo to kind of put those out. But what in this you see here is, here at Gen Con, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, I think it was now, you actually got to go ahead and play against Jason. And if you happen to go ahead and beat him, he would go ahead and give you a set of these. Now, this is, again, 2 of the 3 that were actually set, and I wish I could remember the 3rd one, but there is actually a total of 3. Last but not least, I actually happened to go ahead and buy probably some of the last remaining stock from his brother. And one of the things that I just wanted to make mention, he is actually looking at releasing some of the t-shirts that you could actually buy, where they had a t-shirt that was the Titan, the Behemoth, the Minotaur, of which, were kind of nice. And some people may remember them, some people may not. But with that being said, best of luck. It's a great game. I've been playing it for almost 30 years.
Thank you very much. Andrew Miller. So, you're bidding on a play-open copy of the GorganStar version of Titan. You have included with this 2 of the 3 self-published expansions signed by Jason McAllister. Let's start the bidding at $2. I got 2. Let's do 10. 10, 20. I have 100. 100 and a quarter. 150. 175. 200. 225. 250. 275. 300. Proxy bid is off. 325. 350. 375. 375 once. 375 uncontested. We're done. 8170 for 375.
Next to last item on my side is one of the RPGA modules written by Frank Menzer, Doc's Island. This is R4, Doc's Island by Frank. This was published by TSR RPGA in '83. It's a 16-page booklet with an outer folder. It's very limited edition. This was sold only to members of the RPGA. Condition-wise, the outer cover is very good minus. There's heavy creasing, there's a small stain. No staple rust though. The module itself is a good plus. Something, there's some staining on the first page. Very light staple rust. Overall, a good plus, maybe very good minus. A nice, clean copy of Doc's Island. These are highly sought after by folks on the internet. Highly sought after. They're always very popular when you see them come up for auction. We got a reserve, but we'll start it at $100 and see where we go from there. $100 for R4 Doc's Island. 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 60, 170, 180, 190, 200, 225. I have 225 up front here. 250, 275, 300, 325, 350. It will sell. 375, 400, 425, 450, 475. $500, 525, 550, 575, 600, 625, 650, 675, $700. I have one person standing at 700. Last call. 8196 for $700. Thank you, Patrick.
This is my last item for the night. It all starts somewhere. And in the case of our entire hobby, it all starts with the wood grains. Tonight we have only a single wood grain box set. We have a second printing. It's had a tough life. It's had a life well played. The box has 5 blown corners. The bottom box has 3 blown corners and is heavily stained. Writing on the box bottom with a correction sheet and the 14-page booklet, so it is complete. Pages are not falling out. There's some staple rust in book 2. They're impossibly rare. We all know this. No matter condition, you still have to weigh and judge what it is we're talking about. Only 1,000 copies? Bill, where are you? 1,000 copies is how our hobby began, and this is the root of all of it. Tonight's wood grain. Let's start at $100. I have $100. 100, 200, 300, 300. There is a reserve. We aren't close. This does not reflect the value of the wood grain box set. Sorry. 1,000. We're at 1,000. I'm sorry? I have 1,500. We're closer to the proxy. We aren't there yet. I have 1,500. Do I have any other follow-on bids? 1,500? The reserve set by the seller is $2,300. Are you willing to pay the reserve? I have a pass. Pass once. Pass twice. I have no say.
Okay, the very last item in the auction. Quite often, this is how we end the auction every year. Is the...
Sorry, correction. I had a proxy bid. I missed that. I have a proxy, and the proxy wins for the reserve.
That's great. Excellent. As we quite often do with the Crème de la Crème part of the auction, we often end with the crystal case. These are like one-of-a-kind, unique items that they pay big money for to buy, like from to be able to make these dice. One year it was a meteorite, and then this year it's the Allosaurus fossil. It's from the Jurassic period. We're talking 150 million years BC. That's a long time ago. And these dice are crafted from that Allosaurus fossil. It was discovered in the Morrison Formation in Colorado, the fossil itself. And then they, Crystal Case bought the rights to craft these dice from that Allosaurus fossil. And we're going to start at just $1 for these. I was hoping to see most hands up. All right, let's go to 100. $1,000 is a bid, and are still cards up? Still cards up? Yes, there are. 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500. I have 1,500 up front. 1,500. Nobody else wants to fight in for these Allosaurus fossil dice? Thank you. 1,600, 1,700. I got 1,700 in the back. 1,700 in the back. Anybody? I'm lingering a second. There's some discussion going on here. I have 1,700 in the back. Going once. Going twice. Sold to 3,550 people. $1,700. $1,700. $3,553. Folks, have a great night. And we hope to see you back tomorrow, especially for the charity auction.
Announcements. Number 1, the store is closed. You're done. Buy your stuff and go home. Notice somebody else is on to get out. The store staff want to go to bed. 9 tomorrow. 9 o'clock tomorrow, the store will open. The line begins at 7. We'll see you then. Go home. Hey, number 2. I had a great question. Hey Jim, there's some unbelievably nice magic cards that are in the display cabinet. Why aren't they in the collectibles? There's a reason. We have a lot of card dealers in the dealer's hall who are interested in this revised set as well as the dual lands. They requested that we actually put them in the card auction tomorrow. That's when they will be. And so if you're here looking for those cards, they should be auctioned tomorrow. Otherwise, they would have been in the top 10. But the card dealers have put in a long day at the exhibit hall, and it's only fair.